Don't do anything dumb. Wait, nope, I'm dumb. And I'm off the Jefferson circuit, and I am not sure how it's going to go. Whoops. These things happen to me. No braking markers at all. The red barn was nothing too crazy. I kind of know where it is. Make sure you don't take anyone else out. It's kind of like an either or. Either you have spun or you have not spun. And that guy definitely spun. And things are as they should be. Dare we dream? Not that I'd want to race here every week. Faint praise, I guess. I think we can do better. And we did do better. I feel great about that. Over and over, lap after lap, corner after corner. Huge step up. Whoopsies. Hello and welcome. We are back to where we started. We are actually at Summit Point. You might remember that this was where I had my first iRacing race after I finished my rookie series. But this time we are on a different circuit. So Summit Point is a complex of racetracks. They have 3 now, I think. So they have the circuit that we were on previously, the old raceway. They have this, the Jefferson circuit, and then they have a newer one that's more for performance driving and those sorts of things. Training federal agents and those sort of endeavors. They do that on this circuit as well. But this is called the Jefferson circuit. It's a little smaller. It's a little narrower. It's quite a bit more technical. It's been quite a challenge this week getting ready for this race. And I am not sure how it's going to go. There's just a lot of double apex corners and there's a lot of just challenging turns in this circuit. So I'm not actually sure how much talking I will be doing because this actually takes a fair bit of concentration. Whoopsies. Alright, as always I forgot to start the video. Whoops. These things happen to me. So as I said, many of these corners are compound radius corners, very technical. There's not a lot of roadside markers, like there's no braking markers at all. And the cues along the side of the track are very difficult to pick up on, right? So like here, there's this little road, this little access road, and that's kind of your braking point there. Getting back onto the throttle at the apex is kind of where that red barn was. This first corner, it's kind of, you got to judge it along the fence to the left or the trees, and it can be a real challenge. So aside from the corners being really complex, it's hard to know where to brake for them. Fairly narrow circuit as well. Not tons of elevation change, you know, little dips and things, but nothing too crazy. One of the challenges as well is my monitor is not super big, and so I can't always see into the apex of the corner as I'm turning. So, you know, I've driven enough that I kind of know where it is, but you can't, it's always a challenge when you can't actually see it. It is a race, because the track's difficult, it is a race where people tend to go off and make mistakes. It's also, I don't think I've gotten through more than 2 laps without some kind of incident. Not me personally, but someone in the race having some kind of incident. So we'll have to look out for that as well. Alright, let's pop out. Let's see how we did on our qualifying attempt, part of which you can see on the video. So right now 4th, but a 55.5 is actually pretty decent for me. Most of the week I've been running like mid 56s. So I was able to work on some stuff and get my time down a little bit more today. So hopefully I'll be a little bit more competitive in this race. One guy almost in the 53s. That's really quick. So I don't think we'll be too much of a concern for either of them. We'll see how that translates into the race. So we'll see how it goes today. We're going to try and race clean and do well. This race isn't long per se, but it's a lot of laps, 20 laps. Last week at Okayama we had 15, and all the other races I've done I think have been 10 laps. So it's just because this course is so short. A little more than a mile, I think 1.1 miles is the total distance. Let's jump onto the grid here. We'll be on the outside into the first corner. So we'll just have to watch. We'll just have to be careful. Try and listen to our spotter. Make sure we don't make any mistakes. Make sure we don't take anyone else out. Alright, the grid is set. We've got the red lights. And we are away at the Jefferson circuit at Summit Point. Not a terrible start, but also not a lot of room.
Car right. Still there, hold your line. Clear on the right. Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Alright, got through the first couple of corners there. Looks like the guy behind me spun a bit. Spun a bit. Spun all the way. I don't know if you can spin a bit. It's kind of like an either or. Either you have spun or you have not spun. And that guy definitely spun. Patience, patience. The other thing we'll have to be aware of is, well, the guys that qualified ahead of me are faster than me. It's not always a guarantee that they're faster in every section of the track. I mean, the guy on pole probably is. He had a very, very good lap. But some of the other guys, like I might be faster in one section and they might be faster in another. This is also a very difficult track on which to pass. You can kind of get, if you get a really good exit and you can get alongside going into turn 1, the right-hander up here, then you might have a passing opportunity. Coming out of this section, so coming out here onto this sort of backstretch, is the other opportunity to make a pass into this corner. But again, it's very challenging. Just because the track is narrow, it's easy to get off your line when you're trying to overtake, and then the guy on the outside has the better angle into the corner and is able to hold you off anyway. Well, it doesn't look like we'd had anyone in the pit lane getting repairs. So that is a good sign that maybe we had a pretty clean start to the race. There was the guy behind me that spun around, but maybe he didn't hit anyone, and no one hit him, and things are as they should be. Dare we dream? So I'm thinking about doing a video where I kind of rate the courses of the season when we get to the end of the year, or the end of this season. And early in the week, I was quite sure this would be dead last. But I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I don't know that I'd want to race here every week, but I'm starting to like it more than I had done, which maybe is not saying much. Faint praise, I guess, but we'll see. I like to try and shoot for 5th place if I can. Sort of like a little better than top half of the field. I've also noticed this track has had fewer splits. So in iRacing, when people sign up for a race, there's more than 12 people that sign up, and so it splits you up into different races depending on your skill level, on what's called your I rating. And I've noticed this week that there seem to be fewer splits than most weeks, and I think part of that's just because this track is really difficult and is really technical, and people maybe are struggling with it, and not as many people are racing it. So I've been, I think all of my races have been, the average for the split is well above my actual rating in the game, so they've been pretty challenging races for me. I've also found that people take very different approaches to the corners. Some people carry a lot more entry speed, other people slow down a little bit more on the entry, so we'll have to look out for that as well. People do mess up here as well, so we're falling back a little bit, but it is possible that someone will make a mistake, so we gotta stay in it, and we also want to kind of try to stay ahead of the guys behind. 56.1, not a terrible lap, but I certainly think we can do better. And we did do better, 55.4. So our front runners here are just fast, man. I'm running about as well as I've done, and they're just walking away. And I'm starting to lose out a little bit to the guy behind, so don't feel great about that. Now he's only a second back. Yeah, he's much faster. So now it'll just be a matter of making sure that he passes me in a place where it's safe. I don't want it to sound like I'm giving up, and just going to give him the spot, but at the same time, we don't want to cause an issue. Yeah, he got me in there. Alright, maybe we can follow him a bit, see what he does. Maybe learn something here while we're behind him. Sort of take advantage of losing out a little bit. Always learning. Ooh, a little wide there. It's exciting. The thing I'm sort of learning is that time gaps and speed differential and like who's faster than who, it's very small things that make up large chunks of time. I mean, it can be like feet in an apex, it can be like a meter in a braking zone, and those very small things make a very big difference, which is what makes this all very challenging. And it's actually part of what I think makes it fun, is that you're always improving, like you're always getting a little bit better. You know, you do something right and your lap is a tenth of a second better. You make a change and your sector time goes purple, right? Like you have your fastest sector time. A little like timing thing. If you have your fastest ever sector, it puts the time up in purple, right? So if you go purple, that means it's your fastest ever. And those like little things are just what keeps you coming back. Like you're just getting a little better every single time, learning little things, taking new approaches. Did not want to be on the curve there. Probably didn't want to be in first gear there. The really, really fast guys are the ones that can do it over and over, lap after lap, corner after corner, and just have it seem effortless. Whereas I, on the other hand, make a lot of mistakes, try to go too fast, and end up going slower, super inconsistent. But that's learning, right? Just keep trying. I mean, the fact that I'm running mostly in the 55s is a huge step up from what I've had through the rest of the week. So, you know, just getting better every lap, getting better. We're trying to. See, I probably could have stayed in it. Even though I hit the curb, probably could have stayed flat. But let's not throw a race away for a maybe. You know, I think I could have done that. And then you find out that you actually can't. And you've thrown away all your hard work. Probably too conservative. That's probably my other fatal flaw. Alright, 2 laps to go. I'm getting real like Okayama race vibes, where it feels a little more like a time trial than it does like a race. Sorry about that. Can't always guarantee that we're going to get an absolute thriller. Seems like everyone stayed pretty clean too. Good on the guys in this split. Alright, final lap, here we go. Bring it home. Hit our marks. Don't do anything dumb. Alright, one more complex of corners to go. Alright, that required a lot of concentration. But there we go. Crossed the line, we finished 5th.
Chicken flag, chicken flag.
We'll take it. I mean, I was really uncompetitive on this track most of the week, so the fact that I'm running with guys running 55s, and yeah, that feels really good. Feels really good. I'm sure it'd be more thrilling if I was the fastest guy out here, but no, it feels good to have a good, consistent race. I mean, at the beginning of the week, I didn't think I'd do 20 laps without crashing. Like, such a technical course. Alright, so let's jump out and see how things look. Alright, so we finish in 5th. The guy that passed me towards the end of the race, not towards the end, but maybe about halfway through, I figured that he had started in the back and was just like super fast. I don't love when guys do that. Like, I feel like if you're fast, qualify, you know? But some people don't do that. I don't know why. But anyway, so started 4th, but we hit our goal. We finished 5th, which is great. We overtook at the start the guy that, wait, nope, I'm dumb. And I'm wrong. We stayed in our 4th place spot at the start and lost 1 place to one of the sandbagging folks that decided not to qualify. So I feel pretty good about that. You know, it's decent. Lap times were not like crazy consistent, but mostly 55s, a couple low 56s. But yeah, really pretty solid overall. Last 2 laps were a little bit more conservative just as we were running down to the end of the race. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. That's our race from the Jefferson circuit at Summon Point. If you enjoyed the video, then hit like, maybe subscribe, and thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.